Yo, what is going on, yt-koalaz here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make your pictures look better in Photoshop. Now for this particular tutorial, I am using Photoshop CC 2017. This pretty much applies to all versions of Photoshop, but I just thought I'd get that clear just because the interface looks a little bit different between versions. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open a raw camera file that I have. Since it's a raw image, I have this thing here for Photoshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak the settings just a little bit to my liking. Alright, I think that looks a little bit better than what it did before. So this is what we are working with. This is a picture that I took not too long ago. It was a few days ago. I think it was yesterday actually. I can't remember. But anyway, first thing we're going to do is unlock the layer by double clicking on it. Boom. Right, first to start off, whenever I edit pictures, I never edit like just this and then end up duplicating it like that. I do not do that personally because if I want to go back and change something later, I can't. I already did that like an hour ago. Boom, I cannot do that. On Windows, hit Shift Control Alt plus N for a new layer. Then hit Shift Control Alt E to stamp the visible layer on top of the new layer that we just made. On Mac, it's Shift Option Command N and E. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is blur the image. So I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and 3.5 is a little bit too weak, so I'm going to bump that up to around 5. Anywhere between 5 and 7 usually is good. And now you might say, well, it looks ugly now because it's all blurred. Like you can't even see that duckling there. If that's even, I think that's a goose actually. I don't know. But you're gonna want to go to the blending mode right over here. Normal. Change this to soft light, and boom, it already looks more vivid, looks more alive, and looks more real. But if you don't like it like this, just go to the opacity. I usually change mine anywhere from about 40 to 50%, and already you can see how much of a difference it's made. Here it is without it, here it is with it. It just makes everything look more clear. The next thing I'm going to do is Shift Control Alt N, Shift Control Alt E, stamp the visible layer. Then we're going to desaturate this. So on Windows, hit Shift Control U. Boom, it'll make everything nice and gray with that old-timey look. Change the blending mode to overlay. And boom, everything just looks very dark. It kind of has like, I don't even know what you would call it. Yes, I know it looks ugly, but go to Filter, Other, and run a high pass, and boom, everything just gets taken out. I have mine at 10 pixels. It really matters on what you prefer. I'm gonna keep mine at 10 though, because I like it like that. Boom, there we go. To do this again, just select these two layers and drag them down to the new layer button, which is right here, and it'll increase that effect. But I don't like that because then it makes everything look just a little bit too sharp. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to Shift Control Alt N, and on Windows it's Alt Delete, and then you will have this very big box come up. Beforehand, you're just going to want to make sure that your pre-selected color is selected. If you wanted to go for a kind of cold look, I'd recommend using one of these colors in between here. But for a warm look, I would use very light red or a dark orange like I have. Go under to the blending mode part here and change it to soft light, and boom, it looks better, kinda. And I like to change the opacity anywhere from about 10 to 20%. I'm gonna keep it right around in the middle, 15%. There, it looks just a little bit warmer now. So here's what we started with, and boom, this is what we have now. Shift Control Alt N, Shift Control Alt E for a new layer, and we're going to go down to this little thing right here. Boom, and we're gonna curves. Add a adjustment layer for curves. Play around with these settings just a little bit. Normally, what I like to do is I like to make it just slightly brighter. Go over to the reds depending on which picture I am editing, and just bump it up just a little bit. But this picture, I don't think I'll need it, so I'm going to go over to the blues, do just a little bit just to get that little bit of amplification on the water here. Alright, just like every other time before, Shift Control Alt N E, go to Filter, Sharpen, and sharpen. Do not do this too many times, as you'll see a dramatic change. Alright, look at these three right here. Filter, sharpen, boom. It just made everything just a little bit more sharp. But that might be a little bit too sharp for my liking, so I'm just going to dial it back. You might not be able to notice a huge difference, but I definitely do. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sky a little bit more blue. So I'm going to grab this little lasso tool here and just very roughly drag it along the edges. I would usually take more time with this part, but I am not doing this for an Instagram post. And then once it's done, drag it all the way to the top, all the way around and back down here, so the little army of marching ants will be there. Alright, once we have our army of marching ants, what we're going to do is go down to and make a new adjustment layer again for curves. And then for this particular picture, I'm going to change the blues. Now as you can see, that sky is very, very blue now. Now it's very green. Just don't change it to your liking, however you want it. Personally, I think this right here is about good. Yeah, it's definitely more blue. So you might notice that there is a slight line right in between here, just like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the eraser tool, actually. Change the size very high and change the hardness very low. And then just erase the very outer edge here. I do not want it to be as noticeable as that, so just very lightly erase it, and boom. And yes, you can still tell that it is there, but it is not as, poppy. It doesn't pop out as much. I don't even know what I'm saying. But this is our final picture, so I'm gonna make a folder, and I'm going to take all of our edits and put it into that folder. Boom. So this is what we started off with, and this is what we have now. It's just a lot more flashy, more vibrant. And actually, if I open up the raw file again, we can look at how the picture came out directly out of the camera without any edits at all. Right, so here is the image on how it looks right when it comes out of the camera. Here is it with the filters on, and I just noticed that it might be just a little bit too sharp around these trees here, but that's fine because I'm not gonna upload this anywhere. I'm just gonna keep it right here. But this is how it looks coming out of the camera, and with the simple edits that we did in the very beginning, opening the raw file. If you guys do not have the raw file, that is okay. Just do the tutorial that I just did, and it'll look better. I could actually just upload this picture from the raw file, but I like it with all these edits and the way bluer, more blue sky and everything. But that's just my personal preference. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if it did help, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.